going on, everybody? Welcome back to Drafters TV. I'm Ben Hauver, and today we've got big news. Christian McCaffrey is back. Fantasy football's #1 asset returned to practice on Wednesday, and the Panthers, who played on Thursday Night Football in Week 8, will have 10 full days of preparation to get their star running back ready to go in Week 9 to face the Kansas City Chiefs. Last week, there was speculation that CMC would be ready to go for the Week 8 matchup against the Falcons. Matt Rule and the Panthers coaching staff opted to play it safe, which, if you're asking me, just bodes incredibly well for his status this week. If we zoom out a bit in terms of game environment, this is a really solid spot for McCaffrey. The game total is rising. It opened up at 51 and has since been bet up to a total of 53, good for second highest on the slate. In terms of matchup, this isn't necessarily a strong matchup. It's not a necessarily difficult matchup either. Chiefs are pretty neutral in terms of defense against opposing running backs. The implied team total for the Panthers this week is not overly impressive, 21.25, but is road underdogs with a sizable spread, 10.5 points. I would expect a heavy dose of McCaffrey, especially in the passing game, and if Vegas is still expecting 3+ touchdowns to be scored from the Carolina side of the ball, I think CMC is as good of a bet as anybody to account for at least one of those. Popping over to DraftKings here, you can see that Christian McCaffrey is the highest priced running back on the slate at $8,500. Now, if you look at the game log, you will see that in weeks 1 and 2 this year, McCaffrey was priced at a solid $10K. The 6-week absence has dropped his price by 15%. Now he's $8,500. As far as I'm concerned, Christian McCaffrey is one of the best plays on the slate this week. In the first 2 weeks of 2020, he was averaging 24 touches per game, and I think that the volume he sees in his first week back will be relatively close to that. There was speculation that Mike Davis would significantly eat into Christian McCaffrey's workload after playing well and averaging 25 fantasy points per game in his first 3 starts in place of McCaffrey, but over the last 3 games, Davis has been averaging only 9.9 fantasy points per game. His production has fallen off a cliff, and the Panthers will look to get as much as they possibly can in their first game back with Christian McCaffrey. As far as DraftKings goes, I don't know if McCaffrey is viable for cash. There are a lot of strong running back options on this slate. Chase Edmonds, James Conner, Dalvin Cook, even Antonio Gibson at 5,800 on DK. So I don't know if we go to McCaffrey in cash, but I think in tournaments he's going to be a monster play, especially depending on what his ownership comes in as. If he's a low-owned play, I'm going to be super heavy on McCaffrey, and I do think that he is cash game viable. It's just a matter of whether or not he fits the build. We'll figure that out as the week develops. Another way that I think we can get value on Christian McCaffrey this week is on Drafters. Now, I did a snake draft over on Drafters this morning. It was a 4-team league, part of a larger GPP format. Cheap entry, $3.30. In this draft, as you can see, McCaffrey went at pick 11 right after I took James Conner at pick 10. I was hoping to land McCaffrey coming back to me at 15 because if you look at the preset rankings on Drafters, McCaffrey was ranked all the way down at like 45 in that range. And I think that, people are just going to oftentimes go off of those rankings or at least something close to them. So if you preset your rankings in these draft or snake drafts, I think you can get a pretty decent edge, especially while McCaffrey is currently still listed as being on IR. People are going to be, unwilling to take that risk. I think that all the signs are pointing to McCaffrey being back. I want to take that risk. I think in these tournament formats, especially on Drafters, you can get some value. He should definitely be going in the first 2 rounds or the top 8 picks of these leagues. So McCaffrey, super solid pick, and I'm going to be trying to get exposure to him both on DraftKings and Drafters this week. But what do you guys think? I want to hear from you. How do you feel about Christian McCaffrey in week 9? Are you nervous about playing a star player coming off of injury? Are you feeling like I'm feeling where, you're confident he's going to retake at least 80% of the snaps in Carolina and dominate in this high scoring game? I want to hear from you guys. Drop a comment below. Hope you like the new format of video. If you did, drop a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. We appreciate each and every sub. We're almost at that 400 sub benchmark, getting closer every day. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back with more videos very soon.